Greetings, colleagues. I'm Prof. Gutsire. I'm happy you've managed to join in our research group presentation seminar series starting today. While we wait for our dean to join in, she's having tech issues. I'll just take you through what we have planned for you and what you can expect. I hope all of you received the short adverts and also this schedule that I have here that I'll share with you. So our sessions will be running from 12 to 1 via Zoom. And this is the first one where we have Prof. Chifamba. And here I will just introduce, we're focusing on the USET strategic plan, education 5.0, and especially for the benefit of our research groups. So some might be wondering, what are these research groups? So under the USET strategic plan, each faculty is supposed to operate student staff under a research group. And we do have 5 of those. Can you just confirm you can hear me and you can see my screen?
We confirm both.
I can hear you.
Really? Okay, otherwise I'll be talking to myself. Thank you, thank you. Right, so we have those 5 research groups, forensic medicine, and the chairperson is indicated there, Dr. Rezo. Then we have non-communicable diseases, NCDs, Prof. Lovu, infectious diseases, Prof. Mavenyengwa. I thought I should highlight that first. Technology, we have Prof. Chingombe, and then ethnomedicine, Prof. Gomo. And then those are our 5 research groups that staff and students, you are encouraged to see where your research activities fit in. Dean will talk more about the mandate for everyone to be in a research group. So here we are. The schedule that we have planned is going to be running the next 5 Thursdays. Today we have myself, the dean, and Prof. Chifamba will give a longer presentation unpacking education 5.0. So I don't want to preempt his presentation. You hear him speak, and Dean will also give her remarks to this same series that we have planned. Why have we planned this? It's to create awareness. I've been having inquiries, questions. What is education 5.5? I understand there are some new members amongst us who might not be really clear on the transition from education 3.0 to education 5.0. That's why we started this. And we do have funding from the USET Innovation Directorate, which is up for grabs. So Prof. Chifamba will take us through what are the criteria for to access those funds. They really have, proposals have to be in sync or in line with education 5.0, focusing on innovation, things that can be industrialized or turned into goods and services. So I'm glad we have Prof. Chifamba who will unpack that for us. So you can take your time to read through what this schedule is all about. Let me go back and check. Dean is now ready. Dr. Makoni, Dean, are you ready?
Hi, Prof. Gutsire. I'm now using my phone. My something's happening with the speaker to my laptop, so I won't even try and do my video. So right. I hope people can hear me.
Okay, so over to you, Dean. You can give us your remarks on this seminar series. Thank you. Okay. Yes, we can hear you clearly.
Thank you very much, Prof. Members, thank you for coming on board. I can see there are 38 of us so far, and hopefully more will join. But this is, as Prof. Gutsire said in the beginning, this is the first of our series. It is important for us to realize that research is a significant, important, critical pillar of our university work. at the last faculty board meeting, we did agree that it's necessary for us to share what is going on in the faculty with regards to research, who is doing what. At times there's research that's going on out there that has significance to what you may be doing, or what you may be doing is something that may have an opportunity to share with others. Some MPhil, some DPhil potentials can come on board based on what you will have shared with the university community, faculty community. And so this is the idea. We are starting this. We will have, the plan is that we will be having these regular meetings on a monthly basis, if not even twice for some months. We have deliberately made these meetings come an hour before our already scheduled faculty development seminar, so that they run side by side. We don't have any conflicts in our timetable. So Thursday, lunchtime from 12 to 2 o'clock will be reserved for such meetings. I'm hoping that through these meetings, not only are we going to share the research that we are undertaking, but also more importantly, that we'll be able to promote our research groups. The faculty is made up of 5 research groups, as Prof. Gutsire has shared, and it is a requirement that all of us, as we undertake our research, are doing these researches under one of those or multiple, but must be aligned to our 5 research groups. Our faculty research themes are also aligned to our research groups. So really all the research we should be doing we should be asking ourselves, how does this relate to the faculty theme, to the university theme? I think Prof. Chifamba is going to take us through very ably what Education 5.0 is, so I won't go into that. The other thing I just want to stress to us is that as we conduct our research, some of us are supervisors to students. And we've just had a meeting this morning where we were realizing that part of why students are submitting work that is below standard is because we are not supervising adequately. So I'm also hoping that as we go through this series, we may be motivated and encouraged to do our role, play our role meticulously as supervisors. And on that note, I also want to remind us of the workshop that's coming up next week that is being run by the Center for Postgraduate Studies, that is going to be looking into supervisee issues. So you are encouraged to please participate in that. I think these were the main things I wanted to just put in my remarks. It is my hope that as we build up on these regular meetings, we'll also be preparing and gearing ourselves for our annual medical research day that comes in October. And then out of that, we'll be able to identify those who will represent the faculty at the university research week in the following semester. So that's what I would like to see happening, that we are really linking everything and we are not working in isolated silos, doing a lot of research in our faculty, but very much individualistic. So we don't want that. We want to work together as a faculty and put forth our wonderful research work as a united front as a Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences. With remarks, I hand back to you, Prof. Gutsire, so that Prof. Chifamba can take us through what he has prepared for us. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Dean, for the remarks and the clarifications on the mandate that each one of us, staff, students, our research projects belong to a research group. We have 5 of them. You can start choosing which one you want to join and which to. Thank you very much, Dean. Without further ado, I'll invite Prof. Chifamba to take us through Unpacking Education 5.0. Please remain logged in as Prof. Chifamba takes us through. Over to you, Prof. Chifamba.
Thank you very much, Dean. Thank you, Prof. Kutsire. So I've been asked to talk about Unpacking Education 5.0. Since my 15 minutes has already been taken, I'm going to start from the end. Last week, we had the ZITF and the Department of Pharmacy and Pharmaceutical Sciences, Shingi Zenge, who is a PhD student for Dr. Chifamba, who I think is on sabbatical or contract in the US right now. They were their products together with partners from industry who are into producing cosmetics and stuff. Their products were in high demand. I mean, there were all kinds, and up to today, Shingi is having to work hard to feature this hombarume and stuff like that. I told my dean that they actually got an order for the alcohol creams, they got an order for $20,000 from an organization. So they are money. Of the 20,000, obviously, something like, if some of you have had access to Ordinance 60, I think 20% of that will go to the university, but the rest is this. So you must make money, that end game. This is my communication with Shingi this morning. So I was asking her, is there science for products? And this is what she was saying. Again, a colleague of mine called Professor Namo came across an innovation by a Zimbabwean who is now based in Netherlands. I put this because I was thinking of our physiotherapy colleagues that we can actually innovate. So she came up with this mbereko, which you can still exercise as a mom after giving birth with your baby.
No, I'm in a Zoom meeting, so
mute everyone. I think Kunema feedback, guys.
I'm
Can
not
you all
on
mute?
point.
Let's all mute. So she came up with this innovation,
Yes,
and
it's
she's
weird.
making money out of innovation. I'm not gonna go quick exercise
And
like that. So
so it's okay. Yeah,
Dean,
they can.
please mute.
All right. Okay. Bye-bye.
There is a what puffs from sorghum, pearl millet, and things like that. This girl with their professors in nutritional sciences, they got funding to buy an industrial machine, more than $150,000, and they are manufacturing their puffs and stuff like that. So they've set up a startup, Future Foods. So the money they get, 26% for the university, 74% is for her and her professors. So they've industrialized their innovation. I think she's doing an MPhil or she has finished, but it's a result of the work she did for a postgraduate, and there is the innovation. So if you come through the main campus university, the first building you see to your right, you can actually see the plant. This morning, on my Twitter feed, I saw this. It's a South African Zimbabwean who says she has patented her innovation. If you look on it says, and make money. That's the thing that attracted me. So published their work, patented their work, and now make money. Something to do with starch So I went on the US patent information and I saw all this. That is a $14.3 billion industry. I don't know how their innovation is going to transform this, but definitely they'll make lots of money. Okay, so work done, publications, patented the work they are making. She's going to, and her team, make money from their work. Some of you may have met this last year's research week where Dr. Daria Mosi and team making a presentation. She was like all of us at Stanford University and her colleagues. We must continue doing the work. But the problem is, if we don't go to the next two stages of innovation and industrialization, it will be to our detriment. Companies, organizations, countries in the world have strategies, health strategies. All of you remember what happened soon after COVID. The rest of the world closed their doors. Okay, you couldn't travel, you couldn't get goods and services and things like that because the countries were closed. There was no movement of any sort. So it means if we as Zimbabweans were importing whatever health products, goods and things like that, it meant that we can't get those things. So if you remember at the time, University of Zimbabwe set the pace, they started manufacturing all these sanitizers and companies, other universities started copying and we produced sanitizers, we produced PPEs. That is still happening today. I want you to know that countries have strategies. They looked after their own people. After their own people were taken care of, they started thinking about us in Zimbabwe. Oh, vaccines and things like that. But the first port of call was their citizens. Now, I grew up in Blawa. You can see below there, there's a picture written Elangeni Beer Gardens. The local people at the time who were leading, who were in authority at the time, when they were building suburbs, the first thing they built was a beer hall. And it was strategic because you could only find beer halls in certain suburbs, not other suburbs. If you grow up in Blawayo, on the western side of then Mafeking Road, that's where you found beer halls. Okay? So there was a strategy. You can figure out what the strategy was. If you look, I found some organizations, universities with their strategic plan. So the University of Zimbabwe came up with a strategic plan, which by 2025, we should have some answers to some of the things we promised also as a faculty. And the country has this thing which keep referred to as NDS1. There is a strategy. And somewhere in the strategy of the country, there is health and well-being, which us as a faculty, I would say because we are the biggest health sciences or teaching center in the country, we make huge contributions to it. Now, in the strategy, University of Zimbabwe strategy, you see things like the architecture of the university, that we provide the rails of the health systems in the country. If the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences at the University of Zimbabwe does not determine how the health system in the country works, then we have failed. What we are importing right now, we are importing pregnancy test kits. What we are importing is how do you test that someone is pregnant? We know that, but somehow it's okay to import. We are good as teaching hubs, but colleagues, there is a problem in that we are not moving the needle as far as industrializing our knowledge is concerned. What is it that the Zimbabweans want? Obviously, they want to be well and in good health. And we are the people who are responsible for that. And if we don't do something, I remember many years ago in Marondera, at Shimejama blood pressures, saw this lady mbuya vangane BP riri kuma 200 millimeters of mercury, systolic blood pressure. Ndikati mbuya, you need to go to hospital, Marendra hospital, mune BP kwanzi mwanangu. You traveled all the way from Harare kuzondipa BP. You know, if we don't work together, guys, there's going to be a problem. If we don't, our knowledge which we are generating, if it can't impact that mbuya, I'm not sure I can publish my paper in Lancet and British Medical Journal, but if it doesn't affect that person, I have failed. University of Zimbabwe has 7 strategic objectives. The first one is the one on developing a programmatic approach to research and innovation. There are 7 of them, but this one is the one that is relevant to our discussion here, research and innovation. Please, I suggest that everyone has access to this document, because you see in there some of the things we promised, because the faculty was involved in developing this document. There are things in there we have promised that by year 2025, there will be vaccines which will have come from the Faculty of Medicine. Some of the traditional medicines and things like that will have converted. There are things we promised as far as a faculty. So we need to do something about that. Professor Gutsire mentioned that at the time we were called the College of Health Sciences. These are the research groups that we all agreed that capture the type of research that is happening in the faculty. Now, the traditional herbal medicine and drug discovery, I may not find a drug discovery, non-communicable diseases, cancer, chronic, what is there right now, 2019, 2025? What has come up from our research groups? Now, all student projects, postgraduate, undergraduate, colleagues, they can no longer be a thumbsuck type of approach. A prevalence study on the knowledge of this disease. It doesn't work like that. As research groups, what we need to do is to sit down and say, these are the research areas we as a group want all the students in our faculty to focus on. This is what we want, Gati generate topics. And also, it also means, because I mentioned here strategy, we need to be strategic in a resource-limited environment. We can't just be doing this item, plant extract, gumap and things like that. We need to be strategic in our approach to my research groups. So let's have non-communicable diseases. These are the areas we want as a research group to give answers to produce products and services. As far as this group is concerned, ngatigarei pasi tobvumirana kuti here are research topics. So any student doing pharmacy, optometry, biomedical sciences, medicine, MEd, DPhil, MPhil, they need to line up with what we have as a strategy. Like I said to you, what is our strategy? Tikaramba chingoenda all over the place as a research group, we will not come up with answers. So what is our strategy? What do we want to do? So we generate what we want to do. So student angouya achitipa, its supervisor arikudoziva kuti here are the topics, here is some questions we want to answer, here are the products we want to generate. So we want our students to focus on this. So from the student project all the way to members of staff, strategy. I want to ask for up with the strategy, yet faculty, strategy, university, strategy, yet the country. So we need to make sure we line up. In the past, funding was given to everyone who is a lecturer. Doesn't matter who you are. Now, so it didn't matter whether you used the money or didn't use the money. You were given the money. Now, I saw somewhere this 2 weeks or so ago, Professor Gutsire posted that we had received funding from the Directorate of Research, Innovation and Industrialization. So here is my suggestion, Dean, everybody, chairpersons of research groups. Mari yacho inogona kusakwana. If we split it into little bits and pieces of whatever, we will not do anything with it. So if we already had that database, here is what we want to do as a faculty. This research group project yabo is quick wins, it's low hanging fruit. If we put all this money into setting up, like Ndakudza about that lady of food and nutrition, so they're going to start generating money. So that money, whether the 24%, can come back into the faculty and be used for whatever other project. So once we get one of our projects generate some money, it's not agitating overnight, we start making money. But if we split it into little whatever, we are not going to get anything done. But again, that's a strategic approach which people need to sit down, agree, and say, this is what we want to do. It's a quick win. We can show that we have this thing. So if it is to produce some IV fluids, normal saline and things like that, we have tested it, bench work, laboratory, we can produce normal saline without pyrogens and things like that. So we sit down, we get people from the business development unit, who Director of Research, Innovation and Industry, they help us package it. Then we submit to the Directorate here, Research, Innovation and Industrialization, and say, we have done all the work. We can produce IV fluids for the country. So we are asking for support. I mean, just less than an hour ago, I was speaking to a ministry official who said to me, we would love to hear more about that IV fluids thing. There are other sources of funding, colleagues, and the Director of Research, Innovation and Industrialization at the university does bring out calls. There is what is called the Vice Chancellor's Research Fund. There is money there. The Ministry of Higher Education, Innovation, Science and Technology. The issue is, colleagues, if we have bankable projects, if we have generated knowledge from our research projects that can be converted to a product or a service, there is support for those. So there's others, there's the Presidential Grant Innovation Awards, Presidential Institutional Innovation Awards, and private organizations. I played golf with some couple about 2 weeks ago, and they said, do you have 2 students with innovations that need funding? I have access to funding, we can get that. So the other, I mean, we always hear banks and things like that, and there are people coming. So let's do that. Let's come up with bankable things. Now, Toko distributed something about grant opportunities. I am not saying we should stop applying for support from elsewhere. But remember that whoever you are applying that grant from, they already have a strategy. And the strategy is unlikely that you come up with a drug in Zimbabwe, or unlikely that you come up with an instrument in Zimbabwe. It's not going to happen. So yes, get the money, get the funding, get the pieces of equipment, but at the back of your mind, note the strategy that exists as a person. I also want to mention, colleagues, we can't do it alone. There has to be some kind of collaboration with different ones, whether my social scientists, veterinary scientists, this One Health approach, the computer scientists, we have to begin to work with others. So these research groups, once you have figured our topics, this is what we want to work on, you now want to say, who has competencies that will help us to get the product we want? I mean, I'll give you examples of what I've seen. When Dr. Chimuya, Dr. Chimbini, their pediatric incubator, I mean, they have their prototype. I mean, the mother to this student who's doing biomedical engineering 4th year ran away from me from ZITF because I wanted to ask them, when are you industrializing? When are we producing thousands of these incubators so that we sell in Zimbabwe, we sell across borders, you make money for yourself? Chimwe chinotinetsa colleagues, we don't want to make money. There is this Kurai Health again in pediatrics. Vana Professor Kandawashika and this kuziva kuti chapapi. But this is something which people can make money. Okay. I heard sometime last year, Dr. Ngwende, Professor Matenga, their stroke management app. I don't know where it is, but I know it has been tested. Let's make money. Let's take our knowledge, which we have worked hard on, whether it's through research, our clinical practice, let's monetize that, colleagues. Professor Mandisoza, the papain enzyme from some plant, I know the last is Ndakabapa, a student, I don't know, this enzyme can be used for diagnostic, laboratory test in hematology. They can make money. You can produce that product and sell it. But I don't know, Professor Rusakaniko kuti, I hope our biostatisticians that will not just continue to provide consultant services, but will move from that and say, can we make software that collects data in Zimbabwe? Just show how other people are doing it. University of Zimbabwe is some of the top scientists in the country. 6 out of 10 of the top scientists are from the University of Zimbabwe. But if the end game is not industrializing our country, colleagues, we will remain poor. No one will come and build our health system. You and I have to do it. If anything, they want to get the resources, or they want to sell stuff which they've used our knowledge, because they mind it and they sell stuff to us which we have generated. So the reason why part of the Education 5.0, there was this change in the degree programs or introduction of new degree, is scientists who generate knowledge that can be used to produce things. Clinicians that just don't do clinical work. But I mean, I remember I went into theater with the Dr. Mboya Sango, and he was saying, Chifamba, you tell me our biomedical engineers can't do this. Now, so a clinician identifying this piece of instrument, oh, we need something like this. So people work together, but can we not come up with telling the guys who laboratories, can we not come up with a quick way of identifying bacteria so that we prevent septicemia happening or septic shock and things like that? Instead of it taking 3 days because they are culturing it, can they not do PCR or something like that? And then our health informatics people, there is lots of data. People are traveling, doing their PhDs in 3 months, using our own data. Are we not able to do that? Our biomedical engineers, I'll show you a picture of a technician in agriculture who came up with a suction machine. Is it possible that our biomedical engineers, our students, by 4th year, can come up with something? Drug discovery and pharmaceutical science. You will be amazed, our students right now, but in 2nd year, all of them, optometry, rehab, radiography, those guys have amazing innovations. In now, Professor Gutsire, because we mark their work and we ask them, what would you think in your degree program? What kind of innovation? We get those things. You'll be amazed. All they need is a person like you who says, let's work together. Let's get this thing to the end. But one of the projects which we have identified, we are working with the student, Akazu presenter 2 years ago, and believe it or not, we are going to set up the company. I promised my dean that before the end of the year, something will be coming out. At the moment, colleagues, health is costing the country. I spoke to the same minister official about $500 million to import bandages, sutures, test kits, pregnancy test kits, surgical gloves, IV fluids. No. If this IV fluids, Professor Gomo called that the WHO is talking the language too. All of you with smartphones, somewhere on your phone, dafamba 10,000 steps today. On my phone, I have an app which is something like, is it 40 some, collecting my physiological variables, 40 some. And you know what? Somewhere in the world, someone is collecting all this data. And they are going to sell it to a pharmaceutical industry that the Zimbabweans are sedentary. And they'll make lots of money from it. So don't think that they are being nice by doing this. They are collecting data because data money is this world. So I'm part of this research project in 20 some countries. Our own principal investigator, who's Indian but based in Canada at McMaster, said in one of our meetings, science meetings, when we're writing all these papers, says, pharmaceutical industries just want access to our data. We have the 1 trillion data points. They are prepared to pay millions, but he's a good guy, says, no, we don't sell, we remain scientists. But let me tell you, data is big money. Whatever you are generating, if you don't monetize it and move to the next level, someone is making money out of it. So if you have access to Ordinance 58-year promotion, it kind of explains in detail each of these. As far as the university is concerned, what do they look at? And Ordinance 60, it actually describes when we commercialize our knowledge. University is just looking at 26%, 74% is yours. So if you're doing a consultant, which has universities involved, you get $76 out of $100. 24% gets into the university, gets to the faculty, gets to the department. We fix those toilets and fix those corridors. But if we don't generate money, we are forever going to be madakaedu. Now, there is the Innovation Hub, which offers all these other activities to help the innovators with business development, with prototype development. There's access to all kinds of things. And if you come to the Innovation Hub, behind it, there's a building that is coming up to centralize all pieces of equipment in the country. Or at the university, with my HPLC, my whatever. So that, I'll give you an example of the sequencing machine. We now have about 7 sequence. I went to some research meeting for a private organization, and there I heard that there is about 7 sequencing machines in Zimbabwe, and we only need 1 or 2. And guess what, colleagues? I know right now of a sequencing machine that was bought for about $250,000 US. It's lying idle. I asked the people, once it costs something like 30,000 to maintain it. And then kutengama consumables at 2,000. Why not just say, that's why I think Professor Gutre mentioned about what pieces of equipment are where. And can we use them so that we invest money, we buy those pieces of equipment we need? There is no need to be medicine, internal medicine, ichitengama ECG, pediatrics, ichitengama ECG, physiology, nema ECG. When we can say, how many ECGs do we need? So that we buy other things, spirometry and whatever. So there are all kinds of people who get Innovation Hub status, the faculty, staff, students, and then we have people come from industry, then we have people come from the community, and there are some innovators who are commissioned by the university. What does that mean? What it means is once you have Innovation Hub status, you can access funding from somewhere. The university can apply to the ministry and say, we think this is an important project. It's something that can be industrialized. Touch kumbira omari. To kumbira omari to industrialize. This is how that lady where my Prinko puffs. Guess what, colleagues? We import $1 million worth of Malays in the country. And it's not even enough to satisfy even what Willards and whatever produce. It's not enough. But we can do it and make money out of it. So this is my research activities at the University of Zimbabwe are managed by what is called the Research, Innovation and Industrialization Directorate, led by Professor Mtambanengwe. And these are all the other people who are within the directorate who can help you, whether it's protecting your intellectual property. It's very expensive to register your intellectual property. But if you do it through the university pays for that. This ecosystem, colleagues, it is an ecosystem. I know we can do it. I know when Professor Chibande have come up with the friendship bench. I don't know whether they're making money out of it. I know Professor Chirenje has come up with this innovation. I don't know. I know I hope this will win Professor Wangawa. The thing is, let's make our innovations take care of us. Let's make those innovations create income streams for us. Kana ndapedza university, ndapedza kuticha ndaretire, mari inongopinda muaccount because of my thought. So kana vakundidana to be beyond retirement, I'm not thinking about a salary, but because I already have the money. You know, there are people somewhere in the world who are sitting there harvesting our knowledge. They are looking at your publication, a publisher, Moringa, Olifera, zvakati. So they harvest that. Pharmaceutical industries, then they go into the labs and start making money out of your knowledge. I don't know whether this is true. I tried to check it, but I can't find information. But I'm told many years ago in our faculty, a student made a presentation of their findings. There was an external examiner. You remember we used to bring external examiners. And Achingopedza, the external examiner who was from Europe, invited the supervisor, invited the student to their country. Supervisor got a research post, student got a scholarship, akanopedzera PhD. Their product was commercialized, made billions, and here's the problem. Nothing came back to the faculty, to the university. I don't even know whether they are benefiting. I also heard someone speaking. This professor, actually lecturer my student, oh, I went to London with this plant extract and they gave me 10,000 US. So they did analysis. Did you get the results? No results. Chances are they are making a money out of it. I am sure we are coming up with great things. This one, for those who remain, because in the Toreba time, there is a research. I was there when the ministry launched the Samba machine at Parirenyatwa. Takapiwa, 25 of them. Research was done. This video, I'll show you at the end. The problem is long. But what I want you to know, colleagues, we are generating knowledge. Someone somewhere in the world is taking that knowledge and they are monetizing it. They are making money out of the knowledge you are generating. And what do I get? So I'm part of this project. Chifamba, unopiwa $500 US, your tax kwa yosara $200. But I just told you that the data we are generating is worth millions of dollars. So I don't know, one more pediatrics, nursing science, whether you monetize your thing. I heard professor. So some of the innovations may not necessarily get to making money, but I don't know. But for the clinicians, is it possible that we can take some of our knowledge and make money out of it? There is lots of, annual medical research day, kupi. Those who remember, we would have Professor Tagwire with his Buffen Distica product. But I'm glad that he has produced a product which at the moment he told me it's in his fridge, but he's working with the pharmaceutical industry, with the university to get money, documentation, product in the market. I think it's an anti-anxiety drug or something like that. Then he makes money for himself. I know Professor Dr. Taderera, Dr. Taderera, her PhD, some of you who sit in HDR, came up with this plasma lowering, this plant extract, and Professor Chagonda, which lowers plasma glucose levels. Guys, this is money which some people just have it, because we even need to revisit this. My PhD students said, I published the paper before, because then once you publish it, someone steals the intellectual property. But that information is protected so that when it gets on the market, when it's now in the public domain, you make money out of your knowledge, which you have generated. There is a student, I'm told an MEd student in Sejari, we came up with this. My MPH student, this I got from Professor Sam Kange. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know whether it's true. I was told that there is something called the Harare shunt, which hydrocephalus and things like that. Now I hear we buy those shunts from wherever, more than $100. But I'm told that we were making them here. I mean, we are not the Dr. Ndaiman, his risk predicting monitoring. We need to convert the knowledge we generate into products that we sell and come up with money, colleagues. We have all these labs, and whenever you have your innovation, it's important that you exhibit it. You showcase of it, because that's how else you get funding. You can't get funding from an idea or from a project proposal. You need to come up with something you can showcase. Dr. Chifamba right now, from their knowledge, they are making money. Because they showcase and people get interested. Professor Chirenje talking to the policymakers, it's important that we do this. We need to connect with policymakers so we showcase our work. That story about the suction machine, this suction machine you see, it was actually used at Tungwiza Hospital. They want it. It was made by a technician who fabricated. That whole thing was made by a technician. Kupi ku agriculture, now aku fabrication unit. On the right side, you see those swabs. They were designed by an audiology fourth-year student during COVID. And there were some agricultural graduates connecting a pharmacy student, coming up with these things. Let's move our knowledge to the next level. My innovations are in all kinds of stages. Sorry, I'm running out of time. We should do something about it. I know we are, as a faculty, industrializing with the Queenary Hospital. I also wanted to mention that the university has companies. It has 3 holding companies, which are for consultancies, for startups. If you and your student come up with a startup, and I forget Kundechi, but please, let's hear Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences are converting whatever knowledge they've generated from research to making money, or become a market for something else. I'm going to say this in closing, but about 5 minutes. One of these days, I will drop dead. And it's going to upset my family. 200 which I was getting on top of my salary because of the research project. That 200 will be taken by another colleague. Is going to start becoming the principal investigator of the prospective urban and rural epidemiological study in Zimbabwe. My family will not get a cent from that. But if I commercialize, if I come up with a product from my research, which I'm doing, that is going to live beyond me. One day, colleagues, I will not be able to do what I'm doing now. I will be 80. I will not be able to do. If you're a clinician or a surgeon, I remember Mr. Harid many years ago, you will not be able to conduct whatever you're doing right now. Colleagues, if you come up with an innovation which you industrialize, you can still continue to make money. It is not good for us to be talking salaries and whatever beyond retirement. Even now, let's take our knowledge and make money out of it. Other people are doing it in different faculties. What you see there is Mangoma departments, they are extracting essential oils and making money out of it. I mean, I don't know whether Dakudzai about the Prinko puffs, those who have visited the agro-industrial park, it's bread, sweet potato and things like that. Those are studies done from agriculture and they are now making money out of it. I mean, there is porridges and whatever. It is possible. Guys in veterinary science and agriculture are partnering to come up with stock feeds, formulations, designing. Does it have this? Does it have that? And if you go to our University Agro-Industrial Park, there's about 21,000 chickens which they are feeding on the feed, which the people in agriculture and veterinary science have come up with. Yeah. I was in Thailand about a month or two ago and I saw this, and I'm hoping our neuro experts will work with the systems, the authorities, and come up with the medicines. If we don't, I couldn't use health related, this is going to happen. I know my colleagues don't like me saying this, but I visited my rural home, Kumberengba, kwa Mamangu, and Kwarusape, and I saw this. And I said to myself, if our education 3.0 remains, we'll be stuck with this. It was a good innovation at the time. But this, if you go online, I saw this. There's no water usage, but they actually generate gas and all sorts of things. But we'll be like this if we don't move the needle. Yes, the Queen Area Hospital, I hope some of you have visited. Prof. Gutsire, I'll stop here and try and play this video, but I don't know whether there are questions.
Okay, thank you very much, Prof. Tipamba, for taking us through that very interesting presentation. I'll say a few words in summary while you try to put up the video. Colleagues, if you can please hang on a little while. I think we are really getting it.
Yeah, it's there.
Mother infecting the baby with HIV. Samba testing can prevent this.
Samba technology means fast, effective management of disease for patients.
Samba, the purpose is really to bring the much-needed diagnostics to the developing world, and where we can really diagnose the diseases at the point of care. We knew what we wanted to do couldn't be done in industry, so we left rather successful careers for University of Cambridge and to develop a technology that would take a very long time, face many, many failures along the way.
DRW is unique for two reasons. The first is they have a founder and a team that is completely committed to doing good. They've coupled that with a very creative technology that can provide a low-cost diagnostic intervention, which can have an impact on a very large number of people around the world.
DRW has two facilities, one in Silicon Valley in California, where we produce high-quality test kits at high quantity. And also here in the UK, we have a facility where we do the final quality testing of the Samba instruments and the test kits. We have an extensive network of partners to help us produce the instruments at high quantity.
To increase the production capacity, we decided to build some custom automation. This should give us an increase in capacity of around about 10 times on what's being currently achieved.
One of the strengths of our technology is that we've taken on all the complexity in-house. And that has allowed us to create a product for Africa which is heat stable. And we've accomplished this by dispensing our reagents into liquid nitrogen and then freeze drying them.
The Samba test was developed specifically for resource-limited settings. Therefore, the cartridges contain everything that's required for the test. The tests are performed with a simple, single drop of blood or plasma.
Well, Samba can become a game changer for HIV because the Samba technology offers the possibility of fast identification of patients and then the ongoing management of disease. That's critically important because we know we have many of the treatments available, but we need to deploy those treatments effectively. Samba can help do that.
The handling of the machine is simple. It uses a tablet which is connected with the Bluetooth. That's where we put in information. It has 4 sets of cartridge per kit, which are loaded into the sample.
When interpreting the Samba results, there's one cartridge which shows the results. When you see 2 lines on the cartridge, it means the results are above 1,000 copies per mil, which means the patient will be deteriorating. The results are not good. Then if the cartridge shows 1 line, it means it's below 1,000 copies per mil. Then we have every reason to be happy. Treatment is going smoothly. So that's how we interpret our results.
I'm Maiwangwe Chuma. I'm from here in Kwekwe. I'm 19 years old. I was sick and I was taken to the hospital and I'm tested positive. It wasn't easy for me to accept. I now have 6 years on that. Now, viral load become TND, target not detected. So now the virus is now suppressed. I know I want my babies to not become positive. I see my future is going to be good.
Before, the results took about 1.5 to 2 months to come back to the clients.
Now, just a day, then I'll come and collect my results.
It's so crucial for the patients to get the viral load quick. It creates a bond between us and patient. When we don't have the results, there will be a friction between us. The client will come 3-4 times and not get the results, and that won't be good. So I would like to appreciate that very much.
I want to thank you for these machines, for the technology, and keep bringing more for us in the community. Thank you.
Pakatestwa mwanangu akabuda results ake akabuda ipapo results ake ari negative. Vakaitirwa sezvandakaitirwawo inini. Vakaitawo results kuvana vavo sezvakaitirwawo mwana wangu inini.
So far chirwere changu chatodzika chaizvo nemhuri yangu, saka tongoramba tichingoya kuno kuti chiti ngavaramba vachingotibatsira. Nade wangoramba vachitibatsira kudaro kana nyika yedu yonsewo tobatsirikana sekubatsirika kwandiri kuita inini. Tofunga
every time we make samba component, I imagine mothers carrying their babies. They are our inspiration to make good quality samba products.
And see how a mother gets the results right away, how a baby can be treated earlier. It made all our, I would say, pain worthwhile.
This is the beginning of a new world of diagnosis of disease, where diagnosis and treatment are managed in a fast and effective way.
We do have in place very robust programs from behavior change, prevention of mother-to-child transmission of HIV program, and this led in some way control the HIV epidemic. As we speak, close to 1.3 million people are on treatment.
Samba is a machine also we would like in Zimbabwe to use on our EID, that's the early infant diagnosis. Actually detect the HIV status on the pregnant women, also on the newborn babies.
We have 100 units in the country at the moment. We are looking at placing a further 64 in the next phase and eventually reach all our 1,650 institutions.
HIV viral load testing in my hospital takes about 2 to 3 days. This is the same way that it is tested in pretty well every developed country's hospital. False positive results can account for 60–70% of all the results. In other words, 30% of the antibody tests only may be truly positive in low-risk populations. So you need something to confirm it, and an instant confirmation like Samba would be ideal in that situation.
DRW has always stood out to me as somewhere that I really enjoy working, and the main reason for that is the mission of the company. There's a larger goal that we're trying to fulfill.
It has been a very difficult journey and a long journey. It has required a team that believes in the purpose, that persisted, and never gave up.
Samba is really a game changer.
Samba machine is a blessing for Mount Darwin community. It came when we needed it most.
So Samba means an enormous amount to us as a team. It's absolutely symbolic of what we are trying to achieve at the Wellcome Trust.
Yeah. Prof. Jenna, your hand is up.
Chifamba, sorry, I joined quite late. Hardly 5 minutes before the end. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes, hardly 10 minutes before the end of your presentation. I had problems accessing the internet. So I've posted a comment, a very provocative comment on chat.
Where is Samba being used now in Zimbabwe? More innovative automated technologies such as thanks, Prof. The reason I showed this is colleagues could it is possible. We can make these things. I don't know the people who were involved in the research, but look, it took professors from the States, from UK, partnering with biomedical engineers, and they come up with a machine. We get it, and that's not the end. We have to keep buying consumables from them. So that becomes part of the 400 million, 500 million I was talking about. But we are importing knowledge. And we know it. We lecture our students on PCRs and everything. What is stopping us from moving to the next level?
Prof. Chifamba, my brother.
Prof, I want you to tell a video, yes, because I might have answered your question.
Be serious. Why are we not innovating? Answer that question. I'm not going to answer it for you. Why are we not innovating? What does one need to innovate? Can you innovate?
Prof, that's why I'm saying, Madi kuterera the whole video, then you see we actually are innovating, but we are not moving to the next level. So I suggest you listen to the whole presentation before you ask questions which we answered earlier.
Okay, but I mean, I'm still not convinced. I have no money. Even if I want to do serious research, I have no money coming from the government of Zimbabwe. So still, that does not answer my question. Where do I get money to do research so that I innovate?
So, Prof, I answered those questions.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm still waiting to know where I can get money so that I can innovate and make millions and millions post-retirement. Thank you, Prof.
Yeah. The other thing I didn't say, colleagues, is Isuma professor or the older lot in the faculty, Tibatsirei Vechidiki, help us, the younger ones. We know you are way ahead of us. Isu, we have things we have been doing for years and we are stuck to it. It will require the young colleagues with the humbleness to help us to move to the next level. Kuti, Prof, Doc, we can move to this. We can actually do this. Mister, we can do this.
I don't understand that comment. I'm not sure what exactly you're asking the youngsters to help the old professors with.
To help someone like me, with Professor Chifamba, you have been doing research on hypertension for years. Yes. Do you know we can work together? This is a biomedical science student. You have been working. Let's come up with a blood pressure machine. We can help you as biomedical engineers to come up with a blood pressure machine which does not use numbers, but it uses in a color coding yokuti green, amber, yellow, red. Kuti go mukaona light red richilaita zviri kureva kuti bp renyu rakakwira. Mukaona green zvinova kuti bp renyu riri right. Mukaona yellow zvinoreva kuti endai kuhospital.
Okay, so I do not agree. Kuti where does all the generation of professors come into? We now expect this youngsters.
I'm an old professor because I've been around for 30 some years, but I have nothing to show. Kuti my research, I have not converted it to a product. I mean, I have more than 100 publications, but I can't show you a product, and that's not good for me.
Yeah, but now I'm saying there you are as an old professor. You have so many students whom you are supervising, and those students are the ones who are now expected to be innovative, right? They come out with these fantastic ideas and say, Prof. Chifamba, I think this is what I want to do. Let's apply for a grant. And obviously, the youngster who require your name as a recognized academic. So it goes back to the younger generations. Can they identify proposals, calls for proposal to conduct this type of research and that type of research? What I'm refusing to agree with you, Prof. Chifamba, is that the old professors are outdated. They don't know what they are doing.
I
now
never
they are
said
asking the
I
youngsters
never said they're outdated. I'm not outdated. I'm old, but I'm not outdated.
What a good laugh, right, Prof?
Yeah, I don't know whether there's any question, colleagues, which you might have. But
at the end of the day, what I would like to do, what I would like to suggest, that we as the senior academics, what we should do, these lectures should now be given, the advice should now be given to the younger upcoming researchers. Motivate them, let them know that once you discover a product and you think it's worth some millions, get it patented as soon as possible. So it's no point addressing the old school. We need now to go to the younger researchers. So what I would suggest is more meetings where you involve all our postgraduate students who are doing research. Innovate them. Inform them about patents and things like that. Thank you.
Sorry,
I think
colleagues.
I'll stop here. Thank you. Bye.
Sorry, colleagues. Let me come in so that we wind up and finish our meeting. Thank you, Prof. Zijena, for your comments. It's just unfortunate that you came in late. The comments that you are making, I think Prof. Gutsire started us off with that. The purpose of these meetings going forward, this is the first, and we'll be running a series of them, are open to all faculty and all postgraduate students. Even in the invitation, it was directed at all members of faculty and all postgraduate students. We want everyone on board. The senior, the junior. The senior have a wealth of knowledge. The junior have a wealth of ideas. They are up and coming. They are open to things that maybe some of us are not even, cannot keep up with the world of technology. So this is for everyone. And our idea is indeed, we will motivate each other to do more research, to innovate, to industrialize. And I think it's a joint, everybody has to come on board. We all have our part to play. So the recording will be shared for those who missed the first part. Prof. Gutsire will coordinate that together with our health professions, education and student support department to share what was discussed throughout the session. So I would like to thank everyone for coming. I know some are already leaving, some have other meetings at lunchtime, some have students, but thank you very much. And I think it was a good start. Thank you, Prof. Gutsire, for getting us on the ball when we started. And thank you so much, Prof. Chifamba, for your presentation. I wish everyone a great afternoon, the rest of the day. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Makoni.
Thank you, Dean. Thank you, everyone, for attending. Please log in next Thursday, same time. We do have presentations from research groups. There will be 2. The same link will be used Please, let's continue in the same way we are learning. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.